Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to Can't Catch a Break. It's DJ, Dr. Charlene Johnson. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you so much for taking out your busy schedule on this Sunday, this lovely Sunday, quiet Sunday. Thank you all for taking out your busy schedule. You could be asleep, could be doing something else. But I really appreciate you. We really do from the bottom of our heart. Thank you again. We always have to give you a shout out. Now, I want to talk about something very interesting on podcast, this podcast, okay? And it has to deal with hunger. Many children for this year, 2025, will face hunger like never before. And we see it happening. And it's what people that you put in office don't care. Like your politicians who you elected in office in the White House. They don't care. They're more concerned about making billionaires rich, middle class poor, poor people poor. They don't care nothing about that. And it's because these are children, babies and stuff that need milk for, like stuff, nutritional things that for them to survive. But they don't care. They really don't care. Um, and yet they'll tell you all the things you want to hear.
Powered by Riverside FM.
They'll tell you about everything that you want to hear for you to get their vote. But when they get in office, they change everything. And it's time to wake up because they don't care. When you think of the hunger, you think about what's going on, the prices of food, everything is going up so high. When you look at all this, the economy and what's taking place, how it seems like greed and power has become a way of life, and they think it's normal. But the children and the families that are trying, working a job or two, and doesn't have the income to barely pay rent, feed their children by working a job from paycheck to paycheck. But yet you got billionaires and politicians who think they doing good, the ones that you voted for, and they approve of that. The families, single moms, the father's not at home, the dad's not there. She got to raise the kids. Husband walked out on her, but yet she got to raise her kid. See, these are things they don't look at. As long as their salary, their six-figure salary, a seven-figure salary that's all that matters. So they'll do anything when it comes to opposition from doing what's right. They'll vote against something that they know can be a bad thing, a decision that hurts people. But do they care? Now, we see what's going on. We see right now with this SNAP program. We see it's beneficial for the poor and those that are trying, but they want to cut these children off. It's cold hearted. Okay, you see what's going on, and yet they are led by who? One man in office, who's the president, who's putting fear in them that they won't stand up for the voters. I thought the voters become first, and they won't stand up to him. But he can do anything he wants in the White House when it comes to him on social media when they find out about him, the things that he did. Okay, but yeah, he's talking to the guys that in his party. If you don't do this, then guess what? I'll primary you. I'll primary you. If you don't do this, but yeah, as long as the billionaires are getting rich, as long as the billionaires, you know, I will raise tariffs, make countries if they don't give them a share. But the thing is, it affects the consumer. See, all right, the blame game, blaming others for his mistakes. Everything got to be about him, the other party, the Democrats. If you're doing wrong and you're caught in the act, truth proven fact, you'll blame that party that you are against, the opposite party. You blame your own party if they question you, but yet they fearful because um, they won't do nothing to make you mad. But it's time out for all that. I think the people need to come together, no matter if you're a Republican or Democrat or Independent, and the Christians and people from all faiths need to. Hey, you know what? When it comes to, we might have different views on certain views and issues, but when it comes to being the way people are being treated in America, out and all over, we should object to that to a point where, hey, you know what? Let's not vote them in because they don't care. And we see that you can lie your way into the White House now. Lie your way into the White House, and no matter what cabinet, what department you're in the White House, you can lie your way during hearings, and for those that do know, and they wind up voting you in, then after the fact, because you lied and said what you weren't gonna do, you wind up doing it anyway. You do it because of one man who you fear. But see, God don't like ugly. He don't like the way people been treated. He loves people. He loves everyone. He don't like this, what we're seeing right now in America and all across the world. And what he's seeing how greed and power, how it takes shape and form. When we look at what's going on, when we look at our economy today, when we look at we are inflation, and we look at the interest rate, when we look at how the cryptocurrency is being changed, how things are going to take place where with the cryptocurrency you can lose that anytime. Billionaires can go broke overnight. That's not guaranteed. They haven't even straightened that up. If you can do research about cryptocurrency, they haven't really straightened it up. There's glitches in cryptocurrency. And people not try to scare anyone, but when you read up on it, there is some discrepancies. People need to read up on it. Now, when you look at this bill, this big beautiful, not beautiful, call it big evil, cold-hearted bill. When you look at it, and you have people, I wonder how they sleep at night. These like politicians that is taking away food off children's mouth, cutting Medicare, Social Security for those that worked, paid into it, and when it comes to things like that, how could you sleep at night? Ask yourself and see. One day you're gonna get older, and you're gonna be alone. And those things that you did, it's gonna come back. It's gonna remind you to where you'll have no peace about it because what you did, you really you hurted people. You lied your way in for in office, and you got your 6 figure or 7 figure salary, and you took a side of a liar that lied his way into the White House. Hmm. Yeah, and use immigration and say what he wasn't gonna do. Look about it now. I'm gonna drop the prices of. I'm gonna lower inflation. Not once look this way. Social Security wasn't gonna touch. They touched it. These are the liars we're getting. I don't care if Republican or Democrat or Independent. You don't need liar. These lies. Hey, you know what? Colleges are being attacked, funded, defunded. A lot of things are happening, but people need to stand up and wake up. because we're not even in 2025. We're not even into it, and look what's happening right now. Look at all the executive orders and stuff. Project 2025. Look at the SNAP programs. A budget director from that works in the federal government read Project 2025. Our Supreme Court. We look at the attackers from the Supreme Court. How the Supreme Court, how they're seem like they're assuming that they're, when you look at it, that they're siding with only one party. When people rights are being violated from um, due process. I mean, really, who's above the law? The Supreme Court. Madison. Think about in the Constitution when it talked about Madison. You should know that how things are. When you and I know it's a lot of fear. I know there's a lot of people fearing, politicians fearing, but there are some politicians that are standing up, like Senator Schiff, like the Republican House Representative uh, over there who's not agreeing with everything y'all doing. One, think about it. You have a few senators that's Republicans don't agree from Maine, Alaska, from Kentucky. They don't agree. Rand Paul, they don't agree. These are some ones that do talks against it. And we have politicians that lies that we've seen assuming the Lindsey Grahams, the Chuck Grassley's. That man been there since 1966, y'all. Out of these history classes, history. You go history class, and you go learn about politicians, political science. But these and they're in office so long where they have set their ways where anybody, if they're, when it comes to a party, their party, now we see what's going on. Chuck Grassley, Lindsey Graham, those ones, the one uh, been here so long. You can go back in the paper. You can look at some of the statements they said about how they, for the judges and all that, how they supposed to protect the judges. But yet, they're letting, now you see Emil Abo, he was a judge, and look what's going on with that. They're really letting someone uh, that really done some things from a whistleblower, and they siding with the supposed to be Supreme Court judge. Do y'all really want politicians in office like that? That are really trying to be that really are not the voters put in offices, and they not doing what they're supposed to be doing for the people. No matter what color you are, you voted them in, but they don't help it. And I'll tell you about cutting SNAP programs, babies. When you think about this, USAID with the overgoing overseas funding from Ebola, AIDS, HIV, all those diseases, and yet they cut foods left on the dock spoiling. And you see the coldness hard. I don't know. You know, I don't know. When you look at what's going on, when you look at the this president here, Paula White, and those pastors that's with him, y'all should have enough prayer to be able to pray to God that God will change his mind, his heart toward people. That whatever he's going through, he's facing mentally, whatever, we don't know, assuming, whatever it is, that God can change his heart and his mind, or the way he views things. It seems like he has a lot of vengeance and anger. He want to get back at people. He want to get back at people, no matter. He's firing people that ain't done anything. They just doing their job. You fire them. Judges, inspector generals, you fire them. No, just firing everybody. DOJ firing everybody. investigators, firing them all. Yeah, military, firing certain ones in the military, firing them to a point you want to you have vengeance toward former President Biden that you can't stand him to a point where everybody's on his staff or who he hired, you'll like to get rid of him because that's how much vengeance you have in your heart toward him and toward the ones. But it's your life. It's what you did when you was younger, in your younger days, when you were uh, up until now, that you carry that burden, that load on you to a point where you are so cold right now toward people. And you got others acting out like that to a point where they are turning on people because they fear you. Even to a point where the judges are even fearing you. And the Supreme Court is supposed to be for the law, uphold the law, the three branches of government. But look what's happened. I'm seeing this. I hate history classes. Okay, I'm just letting everybody know what's really going on. And God doesn't like that. He doesn't like that at all. He doesn't like this at all, what's going on. But yet we see the floods and we see families, we see FEMA, we see things that are being cut from people that are destitute and need for power, for people that's doing stuff because they fear you and they do it and do they really know how much they affect people when they cut programs from FEMA or when they you know when they attack people, immigration without due process, when they cut programs off from broadcasting uh, radio stations that could, for rural areas, for hospitals closed, for billionaires to get rich, even more richer, for, really siding with other countries as their friend, taking gifts. Adam Schiff, if you look at Adam Schiff, he broke that down. I tell you, he broke it down, and it's true. Senator Schiff, when you threaten people with going to jail, hold them because people have a constitutional right to speak the truth. There are no lies. It's the truth. Within the Constitution, learn your Constitution, people. Learn your Constitution. You learn that, you can. Any court can't go against the Constitution. They can't. Those are lawsuits. Know your rights. What's the probable cause? Innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. You can't make up anything on a person. You can't. You can't. If you make it up, it's a lie. No proof, no evidence. Guess what? All right. There's lawsuits. There's defamation of characters. That's defamation of character. You gotta prove stuff. It's the court of law. Innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Well, okay, I kind of get off. I just went back because I wanted to share that with people. Read your laws. Read what these bills are doing to people. Okay? Read what's happening. Don't take a politician's word. Read it yourself on this big, ugly, evil, cold-hearted bill. Millions are suffering. Recession is around the corner. It's coming, y'all. These are the signs of the times. Man, what man does. And you know what? When you have officials that are you elected in office that will side with things that know is not going to, evil they call it, guess what happens? It backfires. And innocent people suffer all because of the evilness of that would take place and these bills, people that are working, making a living, 401k savings plans, stock investments, things they put in their job is now will lose because the way the power and authority has been given. I think that they should change the Constitution. Too much power in one person. It shouldn't. Congress is supposed to be the one that has the power of the purse. But we see this Congress here. This is the Republicans. We never had a Republican Party as long as I live, as I seen them. They were never like this. No way. You will not do what they doing. That Republican Party they upheld the law when it came to standing up, and even their own the president, they stood up for what was right. But this Republican Party here, they don't care about no one. Yeah, people want to cut government, balance the budget, okay. But when it comes to taking people's Social Security and health care, that's wrong. And not feeding children is wrong. The being closed hospitals is wrong. And cutting education is wrong. So look at it from that point of view. Okay? Look at it from that point of view, yeah. Pray though. Want everybody to pray. Because 22.3 million families will lose all of their SNAP benefits. Okay? All right? They provide 40 million, for 40 million people, basic food assistance. Okay, and 22.3 billion will be affected by the legislation changes. 5.3 billion will lose at least $25 per month in SNAP benefits. Okay, so you got to think about what's going on. What this reconciliation bill, 20% of the 186 billion to 2034. So if you have a politician, Republican or Democrat, if they are doing it to people in your community, your district, and you know these people need food, children, they got them. Okay, ages 14 down. Think about stuff like that. How could you sleep at night? Vote for them. Why would you? They telling you one thing, but they're lying. Yes, at least 3.5 million working families who have at least one family member working during the year will lose $25 a month in benefits, or $108 on average. So this needs to just read. Okay, the state can't cover everything. The state won't be able to cover everything. It won't, because the federal government, they're supposed to be helping out, but they're giving it to the rich. And for I don't care how people talk about, well, this is what the government's going, the Republican Party is doing a good job and all that. If they were doing a good job, why are you taking people that trying to make a living off food assistance programs that can help them? They're working, they got kids. Healthcare, you're cutting people off. Social Security, Medicaid, you're cutting people off. Is that right? This is the worst we've seen in the Republican Party 2025 in history. If you go back, this is the one that we see really is really. Really, the Republican Party from the Senate to the Congress really doesn't. To the cabinet, this is a something that's not normal. It's not normal. Many people, news, you, broadcasting, hospital, PBS, those different ones, broadcasting stations, rural covering rural areas, they won't have anything. Well, something like floods and tornadoes, and the news station, there's nothing they can find out because you're cutting that, funding these programs, defunding them. Hospitals that need, like people that care, veterans, military, you're cutting these. It just don't make sense. You're talking about big government cutting and all that. You're funding more to the military and to immigration of this $1 trillion, and the billionaires are paying less taxes. Wake up, people, because America will not be in existence to survive. More countries will rise up, and they'll be richer than us in America because of what we're seeing right now. They will have more than we have, like, because of what's taking place over here. The value of a dollar, cryptocurrency, things are taking place right here, right now. It's gonna come down the line. I don't care what nobody say. If you do evil and you do it to a point where people are hurt from all walks of life, God, one nation under God, does not like that. And innocent people will suffer greatness, death, not enough medicine that they can afford to help sicknesses, can't get treatments, can't afford it, sky high taxes. Think about it. And the people saying, well, it's not going to really hurt. Yes, it will. It's going to add another $44 trillion before I say, I don't even going to say 2028. It might be before then. It might be 2027. We'll probably lose out more than anything because of what's taking place with the tariffs and the recession. The countries we've said, okay, now y'all got to pay more. A lot of things have been shifted here. But it's only going to hurt the people, American people. It's going to hurt the people here all across the world. But other countries going to rise up. China going to rise up. They're going to be more, all those other countries going to be richer than America. Because we see the greed and the power, where it's taking us to. The corruption, the lawlessness, the things that are happening right now. All right, well, I just want to say that I just want to speak on behalf of the people for SNAP. Neighbors, help each other, help them families in your communities, wherever it be, help them. They're working, people working, but sometimes they might not have food. And if you could help. All right, I say that because we are need. There's a dire need that's going to take place. All right, well, thank you all for listening to Can't Catch a Break. I am DJ. Please, and Dr. Sharp, please poll us. Tell us what you think. We want to hear from you. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. But we have been powered by who?
Powered by Riverside FM.
Yes, let's go there. Let's go there. All right. Thank you so much. Love you all. We love you all. Hey, to be better together, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Let's be part of the solution, not part of the problems. Keep your head up. Bye-bye.
this.